I've been here. So they're like certain little odd things that have happened in my life that I like to give like little tidbits. And when I tell people these stories, it startles them because I have a lot of these odd stories about, my life or what I've kind of experienced. And as I kind of thought out what I would discuss this week, my family, we're all about breaking barriers. Now, some people like to, live on the road, very traveled, and doing typical things that, African Americans are known to do. My family's known to do something totally opposite, and that gives us quite a bit of, respect and feel like, oh, if it's daring, it's something no one's ever done, we've done it before. So we're going to kind of go into, I only have 15 minutes, but I'm so glad the 30 I really needed because I really didn't realize I had so much to discuss. So right now I was going to discuss my grandmother, but I think we'll end with her. And we're really going to discuss, so there are so many great things. And, of course, I'm not I will let you know, I'm not working with any of these. I have to pre-warn you. I'm not working with any of these companies. I'm really just, giving you all tips and information. So let's see what the trending topics are right now. Everybody uses the Internet. So here we go. We have from a wonderful magazine, top 20 fashion trends you need to know about in 2019. So they seem like bike shorts. I just read an article about bike shorts coming into play. I could see, not right now, but in the summer, now tie-dye is back because, everything makes it circle around in fashion. Bike shorts, I don't really, as I read in an article a little bit earlier, I don't see that, re-arriving. The one cold shoulder, it's freezing outside. I don't know if that's going to be worn in Georgia. We're all about keeping warm, but I could see that coming on back. Mixed prints. I've been doing mixed prints forever. Actually saw somebody on Facebook. There's a controversy because they said, she got matching. But I'm like, well, that's just the way everybody dresses. So see-through plastic coats. I could see that. I did cause a little bit of controversy. I made a post about something like a winter, some type of item, and people were like, oh, it's not the right season. I'm like, yeah, well, in fashion, it's okay to be different. I made a fashion checklist, and on my fashion checklist, I discussed, things that were trending. Now, what I'm going to do, because I have a different Facebook group, then that was like more of the high-end fashion trends. I'm going to make it more relatable. I'm going to do some urban fashion trends, more Afrocentric, and then we're getting into churchy trends. I will bring that in, but right now I was just trying to get everything started. So mixed prints, they've been out. Red is hot. Red is always hot. I love red. So I'm so happy that actually red is in right now. Most of these are actually more affordable than you may think. Of course, you can go online, go to your local. I just found local stores, and I dig really, really hard, even in thrift stores. I'm like, okay, look. And I surprise myself with, what trends I can find. The updated safari jacket. I'm personally on the lookout for something called a teddy bear jacket. I know that's a little outlandish, but I'm big into teddy bear jackets. It's not, teddy bears are not on them. It's just like how cuddly teddy bears are. So I'm personally into the teddy bear trend. So I'm actually in the process of looking for that. And let's see, tonal dress. We're going to kind of skip a lot of these things, as as the lady mentioned on the article, will not fit Georgia. Now, fringe, I've actually been wearing fringe for a while, so I think it's just kind of been, escalated. Crochet, which I love. I actually used to crochet back in the day. So I'm excited about that. Me and my mom might do something with that because she actually taught me how. A lot of my fashion expertise. I went to college for fashion, but without school, I didn't really need to go because my grandmother, who I'm dedicating the last 10 minutes of my show to, she actually worked on Broadway. So Bermuda shorts are back. I had Bermuda shorts when I was younger. I'm so excited. Checks are back. Oh, this is exciting. Feather details. I used to wear feathers. Sheer bottoms. We'll skip that. Leopard spots. I love leopard. Zebra. I've owned all of these. I should just kept on my clothes when I was younger. That's so weird. Okay, pattern suit, yes. So here's the thing. As I always tell everybody, fashion definitely repeats itself, and I do recommend if you want to stay on trend, please sign up. I'm going to update some things, as things come on, sort of like trends, because in my career, I'm actually able, and I've been taught properly, to predict fashion trends before they begin. And I know that sounds very strange, but my degree allowed me to do that. Now we have 10 minutes, and I'm going to discuss my grandmother. Now, usually when I do this, I write notes and I have some kind of a format. Today, I want to kind of ad-lib and be Brit. So today, we're going to spend the last 10 minutes talking about my lovely grandmother. So my lovely grandmother, I kind of led into that a couple minutes ago. I'm going to kind of continue that. Yeah, so she actually worked Broadway. She actually did fashion shows and had some type of a tour bus business, and they kind of worked on the Upper East Coast, up and down. So growing up, I've always been around, I will say this, and not to be, pro-black or pro-racial, but black success. And what I mean by that is that, I'm used to African Americans kind of like going that extra mile and doing things. I applaud people who do things that are typical, but I also applaud people who want to do something past what, our race, our culture, our demographic, our age says, because on a daily basis, we are taught and programmed to kind of be in a certain mode and do what everybody's doing. You can see it on social media. All the girls post the same. All the guys post the same about my age group. And if you scroll down, you don't see a lot of differences. The most exciting part, honestly, right now on social media are honestly memes, and that's pretty sad. I get more joy out of seeing memes, because on the other half of social media is pretty much, it's like you're going to a funeral, very dead and heavy. So what my family taught us, and regardless of what path we decide to take, rest assured, we all know that starting from my grandmama and her mother, my big mama and her mother, and my big mama's mother, we were taught to be strong, resilient, and just kind of go for what we wanted. And each person in their time period, they all did something extra, not ordinary. And even as I'm thinking about all the relatives that, even for my big mama, who she grew up, didn't know how to use a telephone. So, at a more mature age, she had to learn how to use a touch-tone phone because, certain things we take for granted, like, being able to read, being able to use a telephone, in certain parts of the country in certain time periods, they were doing other things. And then, of course, being that they were in a certain part of the country, working out. And, a lot of my mom's family, they worked in farms. And in the agricultural industry, which people don't realize, it's very lucrative. And you can actually make more money working in farms and doing that than most people make right now. And what happens is they had a good nest egg. And they were able to live, and it's just amazing, that whole region, from there in Texas. People don't realize even there, kind of what they call the Ark-La-Miss area. That's Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and that little Texas cut. There's so much, like, hidden cash from, like, the older generation. So thank God my family, they were able to tap into that. So I just wanted, for 7 more minutes, to discuss my grandmother. And it's so funny, when I go up there, I'm going to probably take some pictures. My grandmother has a whole closet. She's a clothes horse. And what that means is, depending on what part of the country you're in, a clothes horse is someone who just loves clothes. So back in the day, my grandmother literally has all these clothes. And she spent too much money on them. And she loves Lord & Taylor, and 80% of her clothing in New York, they are non-tagged items. So she got these custom made back in the day. And a lot of them, the pieces are starting to rip, and they have, they're starting to, show their maturity. But I'm going to show you all, and I'm going to actually probably put them on my Facebook group and on my blog. And I love to go up there when I go up there for Christmas time. That was my big surprise. I'm actually going up there for Christmas, and I'm going to actually play in her clothes because I just love, playing. She has shoes. She wants to actually give me her whole closet, but I don't want it because the era of her clothing is so different. But it's just amazing how she's one of my main inspirations. I pretty much took, honestly, a lot of the information that I kind of grew into. She also did Mary Kay. So she's always been, like, in front of a camera doing stuff like that. So I kind of took her expertise, not necessarily a lot that I learned in college because I was already in the industry before I got into the industry. So I was like, okay, Grandma grew up doing this on Broadway. What are the extra business parts that I may need to know? Times have changed. I'm in Georgia. She has her backing in New York. What can I do to kind of modernize and make it more useful? So I didn't need to go to school. A lot of these things I kind of learned through life. And, just being blessed to be around, certain people. So I have to spend money on college and I have to Google and get things done. And I did read, it was really interesting. I think it was a quote I said that people like get on Google to literally find their business plans. Like, I don't have that concern. And pretty much at this point right now, I'm telling everybody, my stuff is in place. So all I'm doing is building on what's already in place, and it's flourishing. And a lot of people, they're still trying to find their niche. They're still trying to find their thing. Like, I found that. Everyone's still searching. You're still finding at. And hey, some people are 80, 90 years old, still searching, still finding. Everybody has their own path. But at the end of the day, find that path that works for you. So I made sure I discussed family, I discussed current events, and I discussed the trends. Huge earthquake in Atlanta, my grandmother, and I even discussed some, fashionable things that we all need to look out for. I hope these 30 minutes were worth your time. I'm getting a lot of rave reviews on my and honestly, it's really weird. I had no thumbs down, no negative feedback, no inboxes, I was like, oh, Lord, someone's going to say, Brittany, what are you doing? So I'm just happy that no one has anything negative to say, because, like, oh, Lord, it's very frightening to get on here and talk about things, and you wonder, oh, Lord, honestly, I was scared that people were going to have, thumbs down and sad faces. But no thumbs down, no sad faces, thank God. So I do thank you for everybody who's listening. I know a lot of people are just going to listen days later and just not say anything. I have a lot of those. I have more viewers, honestly, than inboxers. So I do appreciate you all for taking out of your time. It's the holiday. It's cold outside. People are frantic about an earthquake. So for you to take out your time to listen, I do appreciate that. So I hope I gave a little bit of light to your interesting week. So as we close, just wanted to let you know, this week we discussed family, fashion, and an earthquake, all in 30 minutes. I don't know how I did it, but I got through it. And then next week we're actually going to discuss, let me make sure how much time I actually had. Actually, we have, actually I think did I carry over? We have 28, okay, so I have 2 more minutes. I'm good. So we're ending right now, and it's I mean, this has just been I've had a really, really, I have, actually I'm down to 2 minutes and 49 seconds, so it's been a pleasure, working with you all. I was actually on the link in the studio today, which made things so much easier. Now, next week, we're talking about faith. That will be pre-recorded because next Wednesday, the Wednesday of my taping, I'm trying to think, I think next week, I will be preparing to go out of town because that following Saturday, I think it might be the fashion week. I need to confirm that date. But I think that week of the fashion, now I'll be in town next Wednesday, but the week of that fashion interview, I will be out of state. So I need to coordinate with my interviewer and how we're going to get this all done. If she's too busy, we may have to tape it. It's going to be very interesting. So, yes, I will actually be in New York Christmas week. So what I need to do is I'm going to have to determine with my person, and I'm actually going up there. I'm networking with a jewelry company while I'm in New York. I'm doing a lot of connections with them while I'm up there to expand my business. But while we're discussing things, this is going to be quite interesting because I just realized that I need to really confirm what week. I think that's my fashion week. But what's going to happen, that might be pre-recorded. I'm going to have the person on. But I'll keep you all updated, and I do appreciate you for your time because I'm actually in the studio today on my link, and it makes everything totally, totally different. So next week, we're actually going to talk about faith. I like not using I usually have like a note list, and it sounds really programmed, but today I didn't, and I could see where it was like a huge, huge difference. So I hope you enjoyed my show. I made sure I used all my 30 minutes, which is amazing, and I'm looking forward to, speaking with you all next week. Now, next week, I may not sound as alert because my schedule's going to get really, really interesting right after Sunday. I have a Christmas party to attend at my church, and then another Christmas party Sunday. So a lot of Christmas parties and a lot of busyness. So happy holidays, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with the Nifty 90's, the Stylish Edition, and we'll be discussing faith, and that will either be pre-recorded, it probably will be live, and then that next week I'll probably be discussing fashion from the fashion capital, New York City. Talk to y'all soon. Signing out. Bye-bye.